Japan is preparing to crush the entire US economy because the United States have left no option for Japan but to do that. Japan is the largest foreign holder of US debt, and if they decide to sell that debt, it will be a nightmare for the US economy. Suddenly, overnight, the United States will have to spend trillions of dollars to maintain the debt, and mortgage rates for every single American is going to skyrocket. But that's just the beginning. And why would Japan is going to do that? Because Japan entirely depends on the Strait of Hormuz for 95% of their oil. Since the United States have launched a war against Iran, and Iran has closed the Strait of Hormuz, now Japan has no oil. And if that is going to continue for another 6 months, it will be the end of Japanese economy. So if Japan goes down, the United States is going to go down. In fact, Japan and Germany are one of the main reasons why the dollar is the global reserve currency, because Germany and Japan are the third and the fourth largest economies. So if you have the world's largest economies using the dollar as the global reserve currency, it reinforces that dollar on the rest of the world because major economies across the globe are using it. And that's why the United States does not allow Germany and Japan to have their own militaries as if they are a part of the United States. In fact, Japan has multiple times already sacrificed its economy for the sake of the United States. Back in 1980s and 90s, Japan almost overtook the United States as the world's largest economy. But the United States has forced Japan to overvalue its currency, which crushed the Japanese economy. And as you can see that Japan is still suffering the consequences of that up until today. Because if Japan is going to be the world's largest economy and the United States the second largest economy, how can you possibly have the global reserve currency when you don't even have the world's largest economy? So it was a necessary move to keep the US dollar the world's reserve currency. But Japan is not ready to do that again. This time, if Japan is going to go down, just like it did in 1990s, then the United States is going to go down. In fact, Japan has helped the United States to create the petrodollar. So the petrodollar is the main reason why the US dollar is still the global reserve currency, even though that the United States has abandoned the gold standard. When the United States have signed an agreement with Middle Eastern countries that they will sell their oil primarily only in US dollar, Japan was their first client because Japan imports 95% of their energy. So Japan goes to Middle Eastern countries and buys most of their oil, and Japan is ready to pay exclusively in US dollar. So when major economies are buying oil only in US dollar and most of the oil sellers are selling the oil exclusively in US dollars, that creates the global standard that oil is primarily traded exclusively in US dollar. So that creates demand for the US dollar, which is why the dollar has remained the global reserve currency. Here's how the Japanese economy works. Japan has almost no natural resources whatsoever, so it primarily relies on Middle Eastern oil to manufacture things to sell to the rest of the world. So Japan imports a lot of oil and then it manufactures cars, machinery, electronics, and sell them to the rest of the world. So if Japan does not have resources, if there isn't enough oil flowing into Japan, the Japanese economy is going to collapse because they won't be able to sell anything to the rest of the world. Without oil, you don't have factories. Without oil, you don't have or you cannot possibly produce anything, which is why the closure of the Strait of Hormuz is an existential threat to the Japanese economy. The second way that Japan helped the United States to have the global reserve currency is because Japan is an export-driven economy. They have pretty much a surplus with most of the world, and they sell their goods exclusively also in US dollar. So when you have Japan that literally built some of the best technologies in the world, they built some of the best cars in the world, and if you want to buy Toyotas from Japan, you might have to buy US dollars because Japan is only going to accept US dollars. Lately, they've been accepting different currencies as well, but if you go back to 1960s, 70s, and 80s, they only accepted the US dollar, which is why when you want Japanese goods, you have to buy US dollars, which is why the world kept buying US dollars. And that demand for the US dollars kept the dollar as the global reserve currency. So you can see that Japan is an important part of the US economy. Without Japan, the US dollar less likely to be the global reserve currency, which is why United States is interested to protect Japan, which is why there are dozens of thousands of the US military personnel in Japan to protect Japan from any threats. In fact, that is also the main reason why Japan has so much trade surplus with the United States. So Donald Trump made this claim that we are buying from Japan far more than Japan is buying from us. But that is basically the strategy that is beneficial for the United States. Because Japan is selling far more in the United States than they're buying from the United States, they're getting dollars out of the United States, and they need those dollars to buy oil from Middle East. But you cannot possibly instantly just keep a lot of dollars in your bank account. You are going to keep a lot of US treasuries, which is how Japan ended as the largest foreign holder of US debt. So if the war is going to continue, then Japan cannot possibly use these US treasuries to buy oil from Middle East simply because that oil it cannot possibly move away from Middle East to Japan. So what do you think Japan is going to do with $1.3 trillion of US treasuries they have? They will be buying oil from the United States. Where else they will get that oil from? They cannot get the Iranian oil because it is under sanction. They cannot get the Middle Eastern oil because it cannot possibly just get to Japan. They cannot buy Russian oil because Russia is also under sanctions. So the only option that is left for Japan is to buy American energy. Now, when Japan is going to buy American energy, then there is no more purpose or a reason for Japan to hold $1.3 trillion of US treasuries, because they kept these treasuries to be able to buy oil from Middle East. But now they will simply be directly buying oil from the United States, which means that there is no more interest for Japan to hold so much US treasuries, since these dollars will directly be exchanged for oil, which is why from now onwards, Japan will no longer be buying as much as US treasuries as they did in the past, unless the United States will force Iran to open the Strait of Hormuz. So Japan will be selling their US treasuries not because Japan's want to do that and to crush the US economy, but rather Donald Trump has put Japan in a position where they have no other option but to do that because they need to import energy for their country to survive. The second problem is the military problem. So Japan entirely relies on the United States for protection. There are dozens of thousands of US military personnel to protect Japan. But now the United States is moving away military personnel out of Japan to Middle East because United States is facing a shortage of soldiers in Middle East. They told us first that this war is simply going to be a few airstrikes, which is why the United States did not consult Japan. The United States did not consult European countries and just started this war. But now we know that this war is going to be dragged. Most likely the United States is going to deploy troops on the ground. Now, when this war started, I told you that is going to happen. And some of you in the comments told me, no, the United States will not send troops. But now Pentagon has requested extra $200 billion against the war with Iran. Now, why would you ask so much money if you're not planning or if you're planning to stop this war in the foreseeable future? It doesn't make sense. So, after the $200 billion, when they will deploy some troops into the ground, they will need far more money. And the Congress will be forced to provide Pentagon because you have started this war, and if you don't finish this war, it is going to be the end of American empire. And that's how this war is going to turn into another forever war. And until this war continues, the Strait of Hormuz is going to be closed. So Japan will have to build its own military since there is no one else who will be there to protect them, because the United States, if the US cannot possibly protect the Strait of Hormuz, how can the United States protect Japan from China, for example? And that means that Japan will no longer be relying on the US military, so Japan will be using all the extra cash they have to build their own military. Now, but here is the biggest problem out of all the problems that we have discussed today. It will increase inflation in Japan. So over the last 40 years, Japan had deflation since the United States crashed the Japanese economy. When you have deflation, that means that prices falling down, then the cost of borrowing money is extremely cheap, if almost zero. So the central bank in Japan has kept interest rates at almost 0% for the last 30 years. So you could theoretically borrow money from the Japanese bank at 0% interest rate or 0.5% interest rate and buy the US treasuries that pay you, for example, 3% in interest rates or in yields. Suddenly, you're borrowing money from one country and investing in another country, and you're primarily investing in the US treasuries that are guaranteed investment. And you're pocketing the difference, which is 2.5 to 3% in yields. That's what we call a carry trade. And that's how the United States borrowed trillions of dollars over the last 30 years. Because investors, or primarily Wall Street, or even Japanese firms, could simply borrow money from Japan and buy US debt, because there was a huge difference in interest rates. But that difference in interest rate was only possible because Japan was going through a deflation while there was a healthy inflation in the United States. Now, with oil prices crossing $100 or $150, maybe even $200, as Iran is planning to get them to, there is going to be inflation in Japan. Why? Because Japan entirely relies on oil for their economy. Suddenly, the cost of manufacturing Toyotas and electronics is going to be a lot more expensive. So Japan will have to increase their prices. In fact, there has already started inflation in Japan since 2020 pandemic. And now with oil prices skyrocketing, inflation in Japan is going to grow further, which means that the Japanese central bank will be forced to raise interest rate. And if you do that, suddenly you cannot possibly borrow money from Japan and buy US debt. And since that was one of the major sources of borrowing for the US government will no longer be able to borrow as much money as they did in the past. So Japan will no longer be buying so much US treasuries, not because Japan wants to destroy the United States, but the system we have created around 30 or 40 years ago is no longer working. No one is going to borrow money at 3% from Japan and buy US treasuries that pay you 3%. You're only going to lose money in the exchange rate between the two currencies. So what do we have at the end of the day? The end of carry trade. Instead of buying US treasuries, Japan will be forced to buy American oil. And finally, Japan will have to rebuild its own military because the United States is moving troops out of Japan. That leaves Japan with no other option but to start selling so much US treasuries. That will make it much more expensive for the US government to borrow money, and the debt problem will get even worse. Last year, the US government has paid over $1 trillion in interest payments. And that means that this year, that number is going to accelerate. First of all, because there is a war and war is very expensive. So the bigger the debt, the more you're going to pay in interest payments. But most importantly, the higher is the interest on that debt, the more interest payments you're going to pay. And the interest rate on your debt will be determined by demand and supply. Since there was a huge demand from Japan for the US debt, and because of these reasons, there is no longer going to be such huge demand for the US debt, suddenly the average interest rate on the US debt is going to rise, which means that the cost of servicing the debt is going to increase, which means that the US government will have to pay a much bigger portion of the US budget to maintain the current debt. And if you look at the projections of the US debt, you can see that it is rising faster than ever. This is the time when the United States needs Japan to buy more of US treasuries. But because of the reasons we have discussed over here, Japan is not in a position to buy more. In fact, they will be buying far less US debt than they did in the past. But how is it going to impact you? When the cost of debt is rising in the country, especially for the US treasuries, that means that mortgage rates are going to rise. So if mortgage rates are between 6 to 6.5%, they can easily rise by 1 or 2 percentage points. So if you're waiting all this time that mortgages are finally going to come down and you will be able to refinance your house or buy a new house for a much more affordable mortgage rate, most likely that is not going to happen. So the only strategy to build wealth right now is to start investing in the stock market. Because if you want to buy a house and you start saving your money, because there is so much inflation, because there is so much debt in the economy, it means that your dollars are losing substantial amounts of their money. And if you take your savings and you keep them in a bank account, in a safe deposit, how much interest does the bank is going to pay you? 0.1%. So essentially, you are losing money to inflation. So theoretically, you will never be able to buy a house. It doesn't matter how much money you are saving. You're losing that money to inflation anyways. So here's what smart people are doing. Here's what rich people are doing. Instead of just keeping their money in a savings account, they just keep buying assets that rise in value. They keep investing in the stock market. Yes, stock market is riskier than real estate, but in the long run, stock market is going to adjust its valuation. If the dollar will continue losing its value, then the stock prices will continue rising. And you don't need dozens of thousands of dollars to start investing in the stock market. You can start with as little as $1. And when you build wealth in the stock market, then you can take that money and buy whatever you want, whether it's a house, a mansion, or a yacht. So if you want to know what are the best investments you should be buying right now, then join the Investing Academy. There you will find the best investments, the investments that I'm buying, and a step-by-step instruction on how to start investing. The link is in the description of this video.